another opportunity to have interviews, instructional stuff, medical. This another opportunity to check just to make sure we're sure about this. I think this is a great thing for the Big 12. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master of Football, back at it again. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on all things college football, pro football, Madden, EA college football, the NFL draft, anything related to American football, hit the red subscribe button. You will not be disappointed. Also hit the like button too, okay? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Just do all that stuff. I really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, I want to talk a little Big 12 today because, okay, so as much as this whole Brett Yormark, we're getting teams from and I don't know if he specifically said that, but we're going to get teams from the Pac-12. They're coming over. We're going to get Arizona, the Four Corner Schools, blah, blah, blah. Oh, thanks Endeavor, our marketing company. But it's just, there's just so many complications with that sort of thing. And I don't even actually want to get into that. To be honest, right now, the whole Pac-12, Big 12, we're going to take from your schools, man. It's just absolutely boring. It's killing me at this point. However, with that, we have to make sure that we're 100% clear about something here, because Brett Yormark, the new commissioner of the Big 12, has been worth every penny they've paid him so far, and then some, because he's one of the most creative, commissioners I've ever heard of. Check out this story. This was coming about 2 weeks ago, but I'm telling you, this is so cool that he's doing something like this. It's from Dennis Dodd, CBSSports.com. Big 12 is partnering with the NFL for a unique conference-wide pro day ahead of 2024 NFL draft. So not this season's NFL draft, but the next one. It is believed that the event will be the first of its kind for a major college conference. The Big 12 will be partnering with the NFL to hold its own conference-wide pro day next year ahead of the 2024 NFL draft. CBS Sports has learned the event will be held at the Dallas Cowboys training facility in Frisco, Texas. The Big 12 Pro Day is believed to be the first of its kind, a comprehensive event where NFL evaluators can observe the top players from major college conference in a single location. That is the Ford Center, a 51,000 square foot indoor facility within the Cowboys complex known as the Star in Frisco. And for those of you who aren't knowing this, again, pro days are so cool because pro days are just an opportunity for you to get another chance to meet with a player, see how they are, put them through a personal workout, this and that. This is a little bit different. So what happens right now is, let's just say you've got 6 guys who roughly are going to be entering the NFL draft. They have a chance there. You're going to have individual workouts for them throughout the day. Also, certain pro coaches will be able to come out there, certain scouts come out there, actually test them out specifically. Remember here, Jalen Carter got in trouble because he gained a couple weights. Jalen Carter from Georgia. He gained a little bit of weight, and he had the whole situation with the reckless driving, blah, blah, blah. And he wasn't able to finish his workout. It really hurt his draft stock. Now, it hurt his draft stock from being the number 1 best overall player to the number 3 best overall player. So he's only going to, he's still going to be a multi-millionaire by the time it comes May. But, again, it's one of those things. Your pro day can be very important. Also, ask Teddy Bridgewater. Everybody remembers Teddy Bridgewater had a really bad day because he usually throws with gloves. He went to his pro day, didn't wear the gloves, and the ball was flying all over the place. So pro days can improve your draft stock, especially if you're not invited to the combine and this and that. We'll get into the combine and the connection here because I think that this is a really good idea for certain prospects. Other ones, not going to help them that much. But, again, this isn't for everybody. But we'll go ahead and continue on with the story. All 14 schools playing in the Big 12 for the 2023 college football season are expected to participate in lieu of holding pro days on their respective campuses. That includes, and this is interesting, that includes Texas and Oklahoma, which depart from the Big 12 for the SEC on July 1, 2024. And again, that was moved up because of the whole situation. They want to compete with the Big 10, who are getting USC and UCLA on the same exact date, blah, blah, blah. Continuing here. The first of its kind Big 12 Pro Day will provide our student athletes an opportunity to showcase their talent and skill as they turn their NFL dreams into reality, Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark in a statement related later Wednesday. Through this partnership with the NFL, Big 12 student athletes will receive national media exposure across the NFL Network and NFL media platforms. We are thrilled to partner with the NFL to host this Pro Day, and we look forward to creating a special experience for our student athletes. NFL Network will televise the Big 12 Pro Day with the league promoting the event wide across its platforms. A date has not been set for the event, which is still a year away. And again, this is from Troy Vincent, the NFL Executive Vice President of Football Operations. He says the Big 12 unified approach will provide a world-class maximum exposure, mentorship, and development opportunities for potential future prospects, from state-of-the-art and medical and talent evaluations to maximized media exposure and classroom professional development. These future leaders will experience a dignified, respectful, and comprehensive assessment. Pro days allow NFL-eligible players to perform combine-like drills in front of league executives, coaches, and scouts. While the workouts themselves will be closed to the public, the Big 12 Fan Fest will be hosted outside of the event. And again, you see this right here. I'm telling you, Brett Yormark is worth his weight in gold, dude. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's going to turn this thing in the same with the NFL Draft is now kind of an event and goes from place to place. This is going to be something too for the Big 12. It's going to be the first one to really think of this. It was one of those things where I guarantee the rest of the conferences hadn't thought of it, and he's probably like, let's do it. It says right here, last year the Big 12 had 25 players drafted, tied for the Pac-12 for the third most among conferences behind both the SEC and the Big 10. The SEC led all conferences for the 16th consecutive year. And within those numbers, and I want to make sure we see this here because the Big 12, I think the Big 12 is slowly understanding. I had a video yesterday that basically talked about how the Power Five is separating from the Group of Five. I don't think it's actually legit. In fact, I think the only reasonable argument would actually be a Power Two separating. And actually, even that, the SEC and the Big 10, if they actually wanted to separate themselves, even they would separate themselves from themselves. That kind of sounds weird, but I'm basically saying, like, I know that Indiana, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, they're not coming along if they're going to go and separate their own new league. I'm just saying I'm saying, like, if the eyeballs mean dollar signs, they're not bringing Purdue with them. I'm just saying. But we see this here to make sure we can continue on with the point here that the Big 12 is in a situation where they understand they're not on the SEC and the Big 10's territory, so they have to kind of find creative ways to be innovative and different. So it said right here, this is from last year's NFL draft. It said that the SEC produced 65 future NFLers and the Big 10 had 48. The ACC, Pac-12, and Big 12 combined to produce 71. The ACC and Pac-12 produced 4 picks each in the first round, and the Big 12 didn't have a single first rounder. So in their own ways, the Pac-12 right now, I actually think the Pac-12 is on the innovative end right now. I know that a lot of people might not argue with it. Like, the Pac-12's not innovative. Pac-12, they don't even care about sports. I do think, and when this deal comes out for the Pac-12, I anticipate there is going to be the first of its kind streaming element to college football. And again, I know you could argue with ESPN Plus or this or that, but there's going to be an exclusive Pac-12 package that's going to be available through streaming. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but again, that's probably the reason why this is taking so long for them to get their media deal. However, there's other ways to be creative. The Big 12 is being creative too. The Big 12 sees themselves as potentially anywhere from the third to the fifth best conference, depending upon who you ask. Obviously, if you pass people in the Big 12, like, oh, we're easily the third. But you know what I'm trying to say. Depending upon years, this and that, it just depends. I do know the additions of BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF are only going to help them. And again, it's a synergistic thing because not only is the recruiting for all those schools going to go up, but the conference is going to be improved by the addition of those schools. It's a good situation for both of them there. However, they still realize they need to make sure that they can put their best foot forward in as many ways as possible, especially unique ways. You see the fact the NFL Network has already agreed to be there. They're going to have, confetti and this and that, and a big cool thing outside for the fans. There's going to be people inside. There's going to be a whole new opportunity. Again, not just the NFL Scouting Combine, which only invites a certain number of people. Remember that. You don't get every single person who gets drafted gets invited to the NFL Combine. However, this is going to give an opportunity for, in my personal opinion, the lower and mid tiers are really going to benefit from this. Potentially also, depending upon how late it is, the top guys, I don't think they're going to really benefit from it much. But again, I think this is going to be really valuable for those mid to lower level Big 12 guys in the NFL draft next season. So I come to the big board here from PFF. And again, I use PFF because the NFL uses PFF. Okay, the NFL hires these guys. And these guys say right here. So as an example, we talked about that Big 12 media days, the Big 12, pro day out there. Tyree Wilson doesn't need the pro day. Okay, Tyree Wilson is a freakazoid. Quentin Johnson doesn't need it. Texas Tech, TCU, they're going to be in the Big 12 next year. They absolutely positively just do not need it. Anton Harrison is at Oklahoma. He doesn't need it either. Okay, we come down here and we see, where's our dear friend from Iowa State? Yeah, there he is. Will McDonald, edge, Iowa State. He doesn't need it as well. However, when we come down here and check out these guys down here, so somewhere in like the 260 range. So these people right here, it depends on who you ask whether or not you like them or not. But we come down here, we see Earl Bostic Jr., tackle from Kansas. Depending upon how much exposure he has, there could be one team that absolutely falls in love with him in the 7th round. We all know that. There's other players down here we could go through. Again, Michael Turkey's a punter. At punters, it's kind of a unique situation with punters. I don't really know about that one. We see Deshaun Jameson, cornerback from Texas. And again, if they have more opportunities to go out there and meet with these teams, who knows? If somebody falls in love with them, they could be picked. Let's just say somebody is slotted right now to be an undrafted free agent. They could go in the 7th round. If they're slotted to go in the 7th round, somebody could like them in the 5th round. Whatever happens here, more exposure helps you get a more accurate representation of this player. Again, I think that, if you see a pro day out there, pro days are kind of unique because not all teams send everybody to every pro day. This will be something where all 32 NFL teams will have representatives there. They'll all have an opportunity to see not only the top guys, but also the bottom guys as well. And again, I bring this up to think about this here. So we think about Devin Harper, linebacker from Oklahoma State, went 193 to the Dallas Cowboys. Who knows? What if he had gotten an extra evaluation, this or that, and a team really liked him, they moved him up a couple spots. That could potentially bring him thousands of dollars in these instances. I also have a couple other players here. So number 240, where's our boy down here? We have Washington Commanders, Christian Holmes, cornerback from Oklahoma State. Again, he went 240 in the 7th round. What if he goes in the top of the 5th? We don't know. That's going to bring him a lot more money. And then finally, we have 253 here. We have Russ Yeast, safety from Kansas State. And again, for the players or the teams that, have these guys leave them, they know who they are. I mean, you know who Skylar Thompson is. He was the starting quarterback. Quarterbacks typically get invited to the combine. Russ Yeast probably doesn't. There's a lot of safeties out there. A lot of safeties go a lot higher than the 7th round, so he might not have that opportunity. But this right here, another opportunity to have interviews, instructional stuff, medical. There's another opportunity to check just to make sure we're sure about this. I think this is a great thing for the Big 12. I would not be surprised. Now, if we're thinking out loud, I would not be surprised if other conferences did this. No, most notably the Pac-12 and the ACC, because they're kind of in the same spot. The ACC is a little bit stronger. Pac-12's got some solid quarterbacks, but again, I don't know how much, you can say that carries the rest of the conference. The Big 10 and the SEC, it depends on how much of a piece of a success this is. They may or may not adopt this. I do know if it was the SEC, that will be absolutely just packed. There's going to be so much NFL talent in the door. Maybe the SEC teams are out there thinking like, well, we have enough guys here that we don't really want to mix all our guys in there, and we have enough dudes out there we can do this. It just depends. Again, it's the same thing with the streaming thing, where if the rest of the conferences see how valuable streaming was to the Pac-12 and they like it, they will adopt it. Same thing with this thing. If this right here is a hit for the Pac or for the Big 12, you'll see the rest of the conferences adopt this too. But the Big 12 Pro Day in 2024, I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. Every single team's going to be there. It's going to be a huge thing. The Big 12, Brett Yormark is one of the most creative commissioners out there. It's hands down. All right, guys, get in the comments right out. What do you guys think about this for the Big 12? Do you care? Do you not? I personally think it's one of the coolest things I've ever heard of. But again, I'm a homer for Brett Yormark. I like what he's doing out there. Get in the comments. Tell me what you guys think right now. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all that stuff. I appreciate it. That's it from me, guys. I'll see you guys later. I am out.